The guardrail is supposed to save lives, not destroy them.
They line our streets and highways, and they're designed to keep us safe. But tonight, ABC 15 investigator Dave Biskobing is raising serious questions about guardrail design that could be putting you and your family at risk.
Crash tests involving guardrails. These metal beams running along many Arizona roadways are supposed to save lives. But according to some lawsuits, they have become more dangerous since the guardrail model changed. In Florida, 2010, a guardrail punctured the floorboard of this truck, slicing through the leg of the 18-year-old passenger. In Tennessee, 2008, a mother died when a guardrail cut straight through the front of her SUV.
When I started hearing these reports and hearing what happened to these families, and then realizing that the same thing happened to myself and my family with our vehicle, I had no words. I was blown away. I was horrified.
When Luke Robinson and his family moved to New York 2 years ago, they careened into a guardrail.
Seeing my children and seeing my youngest pinned in his seatbelt upside down and not being able to get to him or help him. He wasn't saying anything, he was just screaming.
Photos show the guardrail punctured through the wheel well and pushed through the back seat. 2-year-old Ethan was still in his car seat, pinned by the guardrail.
It's the most helpless I've ever felt and the most terrified I've ever seen my children.
There's no question that these terminals are failing.
Josh Harmon is a whistleblower. He filed this lawsuit on behalf of the American public against the manufacturer of most of the guardrails on the road today, Trinity Highway.
I want the truth out. These things are destroying families' lives.
Harmon is Trinity's competition. During a patent dispute, he noticed the guardrail terminal heads were no longer working how they should. The newer models were smaller.
I've been in this business 25 years, and I've never seen anything like this.
These guardrails are found all across the world, in 60 countries and in all 50 states. Here's how they're supposed to work. In the older model, the feeder chute was 5 inches wide and more than 15 inches high. The opening, 1.5 inches. Upon impact, the railing should thread through the terminal head and pigtail out the side, away from the car. And we checked guardrails across the valley, and we found the majority are the smaller ones. And it's easy to check. They're 4 inches, not 5. And Harmon says with the smaller terminal head, the railing either gets stuck behind the head or acts like a projectile shooting through the car and its passengers inside.
These changes are resulting in fatalities, injuries. The guardrail is not supposed to cut a person in half.
On a grand scale, it's massive.
Florida attorney Ted Leopold is representing several people in a different lawsuit against Trinity.
What is out on the roadway is defective.
In the suit, Leopold also claims Trinity changed the design of its guardrail head, and the newer models aren't working like they should.
Something had to go awry. This is not a normal failure of the way a guardrail is supposed to function.
In a deposition from Harmon's patent lawsuit, officials from the Federal Highway Administration claim they did not know about the changes to the guardrail until long after they were already lining roadways across the country.
Have they told you anything about the height of the feeder channel?
No, sir, we did not cover that topic.
A problem, because federal rules also require guardrail makers to report any changes to the Federal Highway Administration. He also said many factors contribute to the effectiveness. The ABC 15 investigators obtained this draft letter where the feds questioned Trinity about the changes, saying the number of highway crashes with fatal injuries involving the new design does not match the excellent history of the original design. But that letter was never sent, and after the meeting with Trinity executives, the Fed sent an email allowing the changes.
We think that there is a very large cover-up, and the government thus far has failed to step in and stop it.
Trinity executives declined repeated requests for interviews, but sent this response. Trinity has a high degree of confidence in the performance and integrity of the ET Plus system. The false and misleading allegations being made were reviewed by the Federal Highway Administration. The FHWA reaffirmed its acceptance of the ET Plus system in October 2012.
I believe that these changes were made for the purpose to where they could sell more heads.
To date, the Federal Highway Administration does not have a formal approval letter for the newer ET Plus guardrail.
It's senseless. The things I see is senseless. It's like you can see it clearly in front of you, but everybody else has chose to turn away.
Ethan's had years to recover from head trauma and a broken pelvis. Today, he's running around like most 40-year-olds. I'm investigator Dave Biskobing, ABC 15 News.
The whistleblower lawsuit is going forward, led by a national law firm. The Department of Justice has not joined the suit, but is monitoring it right now.